Welcome back to part 3 of building the Stellabator. I spent 2 whole days messing around with the light bulbs, getting it exactly where I wanted it. The temperatures are lovely. All 3 temperature controllers measured exactly what I want. And then I got the eggs off of eBay, the button quail eggs. They're tiny, 12 eggs, because I got 6 free, didn't I? But the problem is, I wanted to put them in there, but also chased up my mate to get the egg turner again. They turned up 2 days early, so I obviously had to set them at like at least 10 degrees, points down, in their little tray. But then obviously I've had to get them into the incubator, so I put them into the Stellabator, and then I've had to take them back out because I managed to get this today. So I really wanted that in there. I don't know actually, because they're so small, if they're going to stay in there. I'm going to have to work it out. But I've had to then cut this down because it doesn't fit to get it into the into the incubator, so I'll tell you that. But I've had to fire up the smart incubator, make sure that was all up and running for a couple of hours, and then I'll transfer the eggs out into the smart incubator so I can get this wired in there, and then we should be good to go with a turner, and then I can shut the door, do the little lock at the bottom, never touch it for 18 days. But yeah, I'll show you what I've had to do with this because it just didn't quite fit. So the measurements of this came in at, I can't remember exactly what they are, but that way it was 42.5 centimetres. That wasn't enough. So what I've had to do is I've basically just cut with the Dremel, with the little grinding disc. I've just taken off of each end, about 20mm off each end, and I've left out 2 rows of the trays because I'm never going, I mean there's like 6, 12, 20, 24 trays there. 24 holes, 24 egg spaces in them trays. I'm never going to incubate that much in one go ever. 6 to 12 maximum. So I've cut them off and then put the end bits back on. Just need to like give it a little bit of glue and a tidy up. I'll just make sure it fits in there now. So it is actually bang on because it goes in all the way to the back, just about touching that sensor for the sun off, so I might have to move it. So if I just bring it off there a fraction, and you'll see just how close the door is to shutting. Bang on, shuts in there perfectly. Yep, brilliant. So what I'm going to do now is get it back out, get the wires fed through. It's a 240-volt motor, so therefore it's just straight into a normal plug, which I'm going to put probably a 5 amp fuse in. That should be fine. Wire straight out the back. They've got little clip things, they clip together. Then I'm going to put it into a normal plug, and then I've got a digital socket timer which can do, I think it does 10 different programs, because obviously if I just plug the motor in, it's just going to be like rocking the eggs all day long. I don't want that. So the timer I can set up for every 2 hours. For 1 minute it'll run, because it's got a RPM, revolution per minute, of 2.5 revolutions per minute. So with it being an odd, a 2.5, it will end in a different position after a minute. So it should do a 1, 2.5, something like that, and then I can just, you know, I know what I'm doing. So get it back out, put it in properly. Brilliant. It's in, works, turning eggs. well, obviously not turning eggs because there's none in there. They're over there, in there. But they're going to come back in here once this gets back to temperature. So the only thing left now is to get the digital socket thingy and do the 10 programs. Probably get it, if I can try and get it all done for half past the hour. So I've got 19 minutes to get the programs done. It's all fiddly with the little buttons. I'll show you. So yeah, this is it. It was £5 from Wilkinson's, and you can have it do 10 different things. So every 2 hours, switch it on, so it'll rock them, and then switch it off, and then not come back on for another 2 hours. Oh, yeah. Every time I move this, I forget that it's got trays of water in. So I'm going to have to go and get some kitchen towel and mop it all up. But fingers crossed, that is the last time that I have to move this now. The turner is in, the turner is working. I've done the digital timer, plugged that in. You can only do 10 programs, and I wanted to do every 2 hours, but then that would leave like a gap where it's not turning. It doesn't really matter, as long as you turn them, like they recommend minimum 3 to 5 times a day. So I've done it every 2.5 hours. First one should be in about 25 minutes. So now it's all back on, temperature's going up. I'm now going to leave it alone completely until the temperatures come right up. But I will set an alarm so to make sure that the timer does do it 1 minute on the egg turner. And when it's all back up and running to temperature as it should be, hopefully I'll be able to move the button eggs in here if they can fit in there. There is little, like, each segment has like hole. Obviously you can see where you put quail eggs in, and then different size quail eggs, and then obviously the bigger eggs for chickens and ducks. I'm just hoping that when it rocks like that, the little button quail eggs are not just going to roll out, because they are very, very small. They're only like, I don't know, slightly bigger than the budgie eggs up the garden, which I'll show you in a minute, because Violet has actually had a baby yesterday. I went out last week. I thought I heard a baby budgie chirping, so I went and had a look. Nothing. Yesterday, same thing again, on ear to the aviary. I thought definitely something, so I went in there, and yes, she has got a baby. So I'm going to go and check to see if she's had any more, or the other mum's had some, while this is getting up to temperature, which could take quite a while. I've had to improvise a little bit with the because these turners, it was never ever made for them tiny little button quail eggs. They're so small, they're literally just going to fall out there. So I've had to put some kitchen roll in there, which will then hold them. So it's almost ready to put them back in here, because it's almost back to temperature. And I waited at 4 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock on the dot, he'd done this little turn, and then because it was that way, and now it's that way with its 2.5 revolutions per minute. So that should then at 6:30 turn again. So I might lock it and just leave it alone. So I've been up to Violet. She's still only got the one baby. The other ones have not. The other pair, the mummy budgie from the other one, the yellow budgie, she's still not had any hatch yet. She's not done well for probably the best part of 7-8 months at hatching eggs out. So I'm kind of expecting them to be on the floor in the next couple of days, where she just kicks them out, which is probably what she'll do. So I'm going to go and sort the girls out, because they decided that sun's out, they're going to come out and play. But that basically is it. The Stella Beta is ready to put the eggs back in there and have the Beta Beta on standby, just in case something goes wrong. I've also wired up the two the sirens that go in the house. So basically what I'll do with if this then that is that obviously the sensor in here If it spikes above 38.5 degrees, 37.5 being the ideal temperature, if it goes above 38.5, it'll switch itself on at the back, which then with if this then this, if this then that, it will go up to the iWii link, and if this then that, and then come down to the smart plugs all in a split second and turn the alarms on in the house. So thank you very much for watching. If you like my video, please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, set the preferences to all. Don't forget to like the video, because that'll tell YouTube it was a good video and it'll show you more of my stuff. If you'd like to help the channel in any way, don't feel pressured, you don't have to, but I've left links in the description for PayPal, and if you want to become a Patreon and contribute a small amount per month to help me along with all my crap that I do, that'd be great. Thank you, see you soon, bye.